Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Thursday. Obviously, the miners got spanked today, and because of false information, and there was a lot of it being spread out. So let's get into it really quick here, and we'll talk about Hut 8's operations, which I think is what led to all this selling here. I think people just freaked out basically, and if you're watching some of the other channels, they went along with it as well. So I hope this is why you guys appreciate the stuff that I do for you. So let's take a look at it here. So here's all the mining stocks for today. Obviously, you can see that everything went down. DMG went down almost 3%. Riot went down 7.3%. Mawson went down almost 5%. Mara went down 3.39%. Hut 8 at one point was down 14%. It finished out the day at about 11% down. And we'll get into it why it fell so bad. Then you got DigiHost down 2.4%, Hive was down 3.65%, CleanSpark was down 1.84%, and Bitfarms was down 5.26%. So why did the miners crash today? So here's the real reason behind it, I think. This is the reason that caused it. So if we look at it here, we also had Meet Kevin talking about this. I think he was reading the same article that other people were reading as well. And this led to a bunch of erroneous, inaccurate information from Meet Kevin. But I love Meet Kevin. I love his channel. I think he does a lot of great stuff, a lot of good videos. But on this one, he just got it completely wrong. So here's what really happened. So he talked about it a little bit, and then he tweeted out to Hut 8 to provide a little bit of clarity. So here's what Meet Kevin wrote. Hey, Hut 8 and Jamie Leverton, did Medicine Hat require downtime for the installation of new NVIDIA CMPs? Love you all. Thank you, Kevin. Hut 8 replied, power utility mandated downtime in October, which is fine, that's normal. Increased capacity with GPU, remove the least efficient miners off production, add more capacity being built out and are upgrading our fleet in CMH and Drumheller. ASIC and power capacity coming in hot. Big fan of you, Kevin. Okay, here's the thing that I think Kevin was talking about in his video. I didn't get into it too deep. I didn't have the time for it. But if you look at this article right here, Seeking Alpha, Hut 8, mining mines 265 Bitcoin in October, lower 23% month over month. This was a bunch of crap, bunch of bull. They got this wrong. They got the information from someplace else. They did correct the title of it, but it's obviously out there when you search Google for it. So when you come back here, now you see the new title here, Hut 8 mining mines 265 Bitcoins in November. But the damage was already done. Basically what happened was people saw that and they just freaked out and started selling all these mining stocks because they're thinking that whether it's hash rate that has increased, it's causing all of these miners to basically produce less Bitcoins per given month. And then obviously we have people here that started replying to it, whoever wrote this was spreading FUD, this is not a contributed worthy of SA. Updating the headline doesn't help, especially since the article still contains wrong September and October production numbers. So you see all the stuff that kind of spread out the FUD. And if we look at the mining part of it on Hut 8, you can see right before or right when the market opened, you can see just a huge drop in the hours after that. All of these miners started dropping like crazy. If we take a look at here for Hive as well. You can see this huge drop, right? So this article came out, when did the article come out? Article came out, when was this? This was about 12 hours ago. So right now I'm recording this is almost 6:30. So that was at 6:30 in the morning when it came out, right before the market opened. And then everything just plummeted like crazy. So let's take a look at the the information that we have here. And this is why you have to be really careful which sources you look at, read, watch, whatever. You want to make sure that they're doing their due diligence and looking into the data as best as they can. So here's the actual press release from Hut 8. So Hut 8 Money provides production update for November 2021. One of North America's largest innovation-focused digital asset mining pioneers, supporting open and decentralized systems since 2018, is pleased to provide the following corporate update. All dollar figures are in Canadian dollars unless otherwise stated. So mining production highlights for November 21, 265 Bitcoins were mined, right? Resulting in an average production rate of about 8.83 Bitcoin per day. 100% of the self-mined Bitcoin for the month of November were deposited into custody, consistent with Hut 8's strategy, which is great. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve is 5,242 as of November 30th, 2021. Mining equipment deployment update for November 2021. During the November 2021, the company completed the deployment of high-performance NVIDIA chips at Hut 8's site in Medicine Hat, Alberta. The company has deployed the NVIDIA CMPs to mine Ethereum network via the Luxor pool, and consistent with its HODL strategy is receiving payouts in Bitcoin. Based on current mining economics, this equates to approximately 1.8 to 2.0 additional Bitcoins per day. Hut 8 currently has an installed hash rate of approximately 1.7 exahash, which includes the converted hash rate from its fleet of CMPs. And their CMPs produce about 325 petahash of Bitcoin equivalent mining capacity. So now that we look into the numbers here, so they reported 1.7 exahash over here at the end of November. So if we're looking at it here, let me see, make sure I get this right. 1.7, okay, so these are basically, here's the GPU servers, which are mining 325 petahash, Bitcoin equivalent. And then we have all of these miners basically here, like actually these here. So these over here equate to these miners over here, plus the GPU miners, the servers, give us roughly 2 exahash, which is counting for these guys here. But if we take out this 130 petahash, we end up with the 1.7. So if I just add this stuff up here, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I can't see it here either. It's coming up at 1.74. So we're really close to that. And these have not been installed fully either. These have been only installed recently, and they're giving them probably the other one to get them up to 1.7. So this is the most accurate I could get right now based on the information. And then here, if we look at the number of BTC mined, December obviously we don't know yet. November we know it's 265. We do know that when they provided their Q4 for Q3, their results for Q3, they said at the end of September they had 4,729 Bitcoins held in custody as their HODL. So if we look at it, we had September with 4,729, November with 265, and then we have a total of 5,242 Bitcoins currently in HODL. We just take the 5,242, subtract the 4,729 and the 265 from here, and we end up with 248 in October mined. So they actually increased their mining capacity, or the Bitcoin mined, by about 7%, which is not what everybody else was reporting, that they're 23% down month over month, which is ridiculous. Kevin did the same mistake. He got a little gun shy on it, I think. Pulled the trigger a little too fast on the story before doing more research on it and really digging deep into it. So unfortunately, you guys got a bunch of false information from Meet Kevin. It is what it is, but still love the guy, still does great videos. So based on all this, all of that had to do with nothing. I think this was just basically like a sale opportunity right now. So let's take a look at the numbers as we have them right now. So the numbers are these miners here, which they did provide us with the tweet here that removed the least efficient miners of production. So I'm guessing these were the miners here, which are the 57 gigahash and the 71,000 gigahash miners that are being removed, which took them down to the 1.7. They did report, I think I had it down here someplace. Maybe I didn't. But I thought I had it here, what they reported back in their Q3 numbers as far as what their exahash was. They didn't have all of the GPU miners up yet, so we do have those up and running. So I have those down for basically mining a month and a half, roughly. So December and part of November. Could be a little bit less than that, probably might be down to like 1.25 months. But we'll leave it as it is. The other ones that we have that we know are installed are these. So these are mining 2 months, and then these are obviously mining less than a month, depending on when they get installed, possibly later on in December. So these I've marked down to 2 months because we know that some of those have come down. Don't know exactly when they come down. I could probably actually make this down to 1.5 even months on these to get a little bit maybe more accurate. So why don't we do that? We'll put these down to 1.5 months mining as they've been turned off and removed. So now that brings us down to a possible gross revenue for them, with the Bitcoin price being at 56,542 in US, which is equivalent to Canadian 72,418, which brings us to possible gross income for the quarter at 61,815,000. That's Canadian. In USD, that would be 48,263,000, which would give us an increase from last quarter of about 8 million in general from where they were last month or last quarter on it. So if we look at the numbers here on them, let's leave this here and then come down here. So the first part of it is in Canadian dollars here. So here's their BTC HODL. BTC HODL value is 302 million roughly in USD dollars. They have obviously 5,242 BTC. And then so for their quarter or for the end of the year, we're guessing that they're going to be making about 177 million roughly. I believe this is in Canadian. Yeah, in Canadian dollars. But if we look at the American dollars, we're looking at 141 million for the 4 quarters, basically, where the first 3 quarters are static. We can't change anything. The only thing that's going to change, obviously, is the 4th quarter, which is where the Bitcoin price goes up and down, and we can kind of simulate where things are going to be. So based on the last 3 quarters, we had 92 million. We're looking at this quarter being at around 48 million. That gives us 241 million for the total for the year, which at 50% discount would give us 70 million. And then we're looking at basically a price to earnings multiple of 20. You're looking at 831, which is really low. So I think the more accurate one would be the price to earnings multiple of 20 with the 75% discount from gross revenue, which gives us a stock price of 1271. Obviously, the stock price right now is 1049, so it's undervalued based on these numbers. But if Bitcoin goes up to 100,000, we're looking at 1596. 150,000, we're looking at 1980, and then if Bitcoin goes up to 200,000, we're looking at 2364 roughly. So these are just rough estimates where things are going to possibly end up. But overall, it was a good quarter. Obviously, they're preparing, I think, to get more miners in. They still have a lot of miners to come in. Obviously, in the next year especially, they got, 10,000 miners or so, 12,000 miners here that have to come in. Yeah, so they got 12,000 miners that have to come in of these, and they still have some of these miners here to come in as well. So they still have a ways to go to increasing their hash rate. And they got pretty good schedules on things when they're coming in. But unfortunately, FUD and misinformation spread relatively quickly in the morning, causing all of the miners to drop down in price. So as always, guys, you got to do your own due diligence sometimes and take a look at the numbers and what they actually stand for. Somebody writing an article on it can, unfortunately, jeopardize a lot of people's wealth in these stocks. So do your own diligence. Don't get hurried into making rash decisions based on somebody else's numbers. You really do have to do your own due diligence. So right now, to me, it looks like it's just a sale on miners for the wrong reason. As long as Bitcoin obviously stays where it's at or continues up, I think all the miners are on sale right now. Right now is a good buying opportunity. Not financial advice. Do your own research as always. But just wanted to point that out to you guys as far as what I saw happening today. A lot of information, obviously, and a lot of stuff to cover. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think of the numbers also. I think the numbers were pretty good and they weren't bad. I'd like to see more miners being installed. But we'll obviously see that possibly happening in this month, December, and then going into the new year as well. So that's it. Have a great day, guys. Also, Bitfarms numbers are coming up as well. I'm going to be working on those in a little bit. Have a great day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.